mamas. I wanted to do a little video introduction for this series that I'm working on that I'm pretty excited about. So this is the Mama in the Saddle series, and essentially this is my little moment of kind of sharing a little bit about my story as a mom and equestrian, and also a moment for me to share other people's stories and hopefully help you find a little bit of community and support. So I hope that this is helpful for you, and let's get into the video. So before I got pregnant, I was working full-time as a riding instructor and horse trainer. I had actually just only, I think 6 months prior, decided to go full-time with horse training and had really kind of taken the plunge. I bought my first couple of school horses. I was really working on filling up my calendar, filling up my program. I had blown through all of my savings to do this, and I was really seeing some success. I was really enjoying all of the things that brought, and starting to really find my rhythm. And I had all kinds of big ideas and plans and things that I was wanting to do, and then I found out I was pregnant. And while this was a surprise, and this is going to get pretty vulnerable, so bear with me here, but while this was a surprise, it was something that we had planned on doing at some point. This just wasn't the timing that we had in mind. I would have really liked to feel a little bit more secure in my job, to feel like I had some savings back, and that just wasn't going to happen. So my very first thought when I found out I was pregnant was, what am I going to do about my horses? And I actually had a young horse at the time that I had just barely started under saddle, and I just had so many questions. I didn't know, is it safe to ride while pregnant? Is it safe to even do things like lift bags of feed or muck stalls? Like what am I going to do about just my entire lifestyle was not set up for babies at that moment, and I just didn't know how I was going to do it. And I also knew that I wasn't ready to give up my dream of working with horses. And so I had to kind of figure it out. And of course, I jumped on Google, and there are all of these conflicting opinions, and I started asking my midwife and my doctor and friends of mine, and what I kind of found is that there are about as many ways to juggle pregnancy and horses as there are people doing that juggle. And I just really desperately wanted like a concrete answer. I wanted somebody to say, yes, you can ride, or no, you cannot ride. I wanted somebody to say, yes, you can muck stalls, or no, you cannot muck stalls. And what I kind of kept, the advice I kept kind of getting was like, well, it's your body and you know better than anybody else. And, these are the risks. This is what, could go wrong. But you'll know. And it became an exercise in kind of trusting my own body and my own instincts, and kind of not looking to Google, which was hard for me because I tend to be kind of a researcher type. But then I got through it. I got through the pregnancy and had this beautiful baby. And for whatever reason, through the whole pregnancy, I just kind of kept thinking like, well, when she's born, I'll be able to get back to my, regularly scheduled programming, so to speak. And what a shock when she was born that was just not how life went. And now here we are, she's almost 8 months old, and we're still figuring it out. And every time we hit a new developmental milestone, it feels like we have to figure it all out over again. But Somebody was explaining this to me the other day, and I just loved the way that they said it, because I was talking about how there's these other moms in my world that are not horse people, and that their maternity leaves are ending soon or have recently ended, and they are kind of talking about this transition from being full-time mom to then finding childcare and having to figure out what to do with their kids when they go back to work. And for me, for a lot of this time, I've been like, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but I've definitely kind of wondered what it would be like to not have to work and to be fully focused on my baby, and to not have to work nap schedules around feeding schedules, and decide whether or not I need to have childcare for every activity, because some of them, oh yes, yeah, some of them are safe for babies to participate. Okay. All right, all good. Some of them are safe for babies to participate in, and some of them not so much. And doing this kind of daily juggle, and I kind of wondered what it would be like to have that just be simplified and just worry about being a mom. But I also was never willing to give up the horses, because it's who I am. It's like it's such an important thing for me. So I did continue to work and teach lessons, and I actually went back to work sooner than I had anticipated, and like when she was maybe around 3 weeks old, because that's just kind of what felt right for me. But now, the way this was explained to me is like, for many families, they get the short-term gain of being able to spend those precious first few months completely with their children. But then they have the long-term sacrifice of then having to go back to work and put their kids in childcare and spend the majority of the day away from their children. And for me, I had the short-term sacrifice of having to juggle baby and horses and childcare and all of the things that come with that. But I get the long-term gain of being able to spend the majority of my baby's day with her for a long time, and to be able to take her with me to work, and to be able to never miss a milestone. And so I just share that to just kind of show that there are many, many ways to go through parenthood, and there are many, many ways to be a horse person. And through this project, I've had the honor of meeting many horse women that are really inspiring and amazing. And what's kind of shown through is that there's this all-consuming thing for most of our lives, which is horses, which is not just a hobby, but it's a lifestyle, or not just a job, but it's a lifestyle. It's all-consuming. It's all we think about. It's all we read about. It's all we do. And then this new person enters our lives, and this also is all-consuming. And so we are kind of torn between these two massive all-consuming things that are all things. They are beautiful, they are challenging, they are hard, they require sacrifice, they give us life, they do all of these things, right? And they're both could be an entire universe of their own, and we're trying to make these two things coexist in one life. And it's hard, but it's also really beautiful. And it's really been fascinating to see how all of these different wonderful horsewomen have been able to fold babies and horses into the same life. And some of them are amateurs that ride for fun on the weekends and have scaled back their horse career, although they still consider themselves full-on horse girls. Some of them are professionals that have shown right up through the end of their pregnancies, and then picked up showing again as soon as their bodies could handle it postpartum. And there are people all throughout and in between, and it's just fascinating to see how it's all unfolded. So I am so excited to share with you these interviews, these stories, more of my story, some tips and some tricks and some support, because the one thing that I just kept thinking all throughout my pregnancy and so far all throughout my motherhood journey is just, there have to be other people like me out there. There have to be other people doing this, and I just don't know where they are. So my goal here is to show you where they are and to give you some inspiration and some support to help you navigate this journey as well. So if this is something that you're excited about also and that you are wanting to learn about, yes, I hope that you will like this video, subscribe to this channel, share this video with other mamas that you know that are juggling horses and babies. Join us in the Facebook community and join my newsletter. All of the important links are in the description below, because then you will never miss a story or a resource or an opportunity to give support and get support. I am so excited to bring you along on this journey and so excited to see where this all goes and how it all unfolds. Be well.